And so I was like, super salad. I just wanted the regular salad.
How dare you
That's
take my joke?
ridiculous.
Hey, every build, it's me, Marcosatsu, and we're gonna talk about build for like an hour. All right, so we start off with a man named Sento Kiryu in the beginning of Kamen Rider Build episode 1. Ballin,
Marcos.
Lucy,
Hi everybody, it's Mona Lucy here. I am number one Taigahani stand X-Aid. I am also currently struggling with this Kuga figure that I bought this morning. There's like this plastic piece and I don't know what to do with it. I draw, do cosplay, check me out on Twitter. Moving on.
Guiji, or a Gia.
Hi everybody, my name is Gia. I woke up about 10 minutes ago. I'm an amateur graphic designer, I guess. Amateur, you're a YouTuber now. Go follow me on Twitter at Gia Bato.
Ballin, would you like to restate your opening?
Not really. I just like saying Marcos. But if I have to, my name is Ballin Plays, and I say things sometimes.
Okay, so little anecdote before we start. Oh, let me turn down my mic. Okay, so I was introducing my friend to Kamen Rider, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again just because the discussions are like a whole different thing. But I was introducing my friend to Kamen Rider, and I started off with him saying, choose your favorite suit and favorite motif, and then he chose Kamen Rider Saber. So we watched like 11 episodes of Kamen Rider Saber, and it was very unfortunate because we watched 11 episodes of Kamen Rider Saber. But then about a week later, I was like, I was telling him about these other Kamen Riders, and I picked out like 4 writers, something that he would like, and he chose Kamen Rider Build. So on that day, we started watching up to another 11 episodes of Kamen Rider Build, up to where Banjo makes his debut as Cross, and he absolutely loved it. Like he liked Saber enough as it is, but then he just absolutely adored Build. Like he loved Banjo, he loved the chemistry between him and Sento, and all that kind of sparked something inside me because I watched Saber before, unfortunately I watched Saber before, but I also watched Build before, and I thought it was just okay. Like I thought it was a good show. I've even said before in other streams and stuff where I was like, yeah, I think Build's a masterpiece, but it's not like my favorite thing ever. But then rewatching Build with him, it just suddenly hit me. Build was this fantastic show that I just couldn't get enough of. And I'll explain more of why that is in a bit. But for now, as always, discussions will be absolutely 100% full of spoilers. We will not discuss the V Cinemas or special at length. I will go skim over them, but I will not talk about them in depth. We'll just be talking about the main 49 episode Kamen Rider Build. So, another one of my favorite phrases I like to say, especially when it comes to like Geimer Build or overrated shows, is that, yeah, these shows are overrated, but they deserve to be. They're that good. It's great. If
It
everybody
happens for a
says,
reason.
yeah, they're overrated for a reason. If everybody loves them, then yeah, they should be overrated. They should be praised they should be overly praised like this. Well, I don't know about overly praised, but they should be praised for how good they are. And of course, we'll get to all of it. But for now, Ballin,
Yes.
how'd you get into Kamen Rider Build?
How did I get into Kamen Rider Build? I think. Okay, so what happened was a bunch of friends of mine, like 4 friends or so, had already seen Build at the time, and they were just like, oh, oh, we match these characters so well, like we have this dynamic, and then they were just like, oh, Ballin could be the Sento of our group, and I was like, okay. I hadn't seen Build at the time, but they were like, oh yeah, Ballin fits, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I don't know what that means, and so I kind of wanted to watch out of curiosity to figure out what the heck that meant to see if it was an accurate depiction or not. But the other thing that pushed me to watching Build was my friend Scar was watching it at the time, and we watched it together. Like not together, like we watched it separately, but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time. And then we watched the last 4 episodes together.
Oh.
Who's Scar?
As you can tell, everyone, we have a sleep-deprived person in the call.
I was in 3 a.m. in this very call last night with these two watching episode 49 of Dildo.
This seems like a
Oh,
you
yeah.
problem.
Oh yeah,
We're all
so
sleep deprived here.
uh,
I'm not.
at the time of this stream or this discussion, literally the night before, I think it was like midnight for me, 3 a.m. for us actually. I was like, guys, I'm on the last episode of Build. Want to watch it with me? And so that we did, and it's so good. Lucy,
I wanted to give a quick update. I found out what the plastic piece does for Kuga. Anyways,
oh no.
um, that's all. Anyways, how I got into build. So everyone's gonna groan, but I was watching X8 at the time, and then I was like, but like, I got curious about build, and I asked Trey, "Hey, is build any good?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And it was just like, I was like, should I watch build at the same time I'm watching X8, or should I stop X8 and then watch all of build? So I'm just like, I really like X8, so I'm just like, let me just like save. Like I was like probably on episode 15-ish, and I was like, all right, let me just watch all of build. So I ended up watching all of build in a week.
Oh my
Why can't you
gosh.
just watch one at a time?
I like I think Trey was just like, oh my goodness, why would you? And then I was just like, well, and I really like build. Like build is probably well at the moment my second favorite Heisei, Phase 2,
hmm
and yeah, that's how I got into build.
That was a lot of caveats to be your favorite. It's my favorite Heisei. Phase 2.
Heisei, yes,
After X8 on
yes.
Tuesday. Well, today's
It's my
Friday.
favorite
Geo.
second
Sorry,
thing that
Saturday.
I've watched.
Guiji.
We're saying what got us in the build.
Yes.
Well, since I was 2016, 2017 was the years that I started watching Writer Weekly along with the rest of the community. I started watching Build out of basically just obligation of watching Writer, and not that makes it sound like I was like I was unhappy while watching it, but no, definitely seeing all the trailers, the leaks, the forum leaks, the press conferences, seeing the henshin early, all of that really just sold me on the concept of Build. And so I was really excited, even though I was really sad that X8 ended. I was really happy and excited to see where they take an amnesiac main character. And so I guess at the end now, Build is like one of my top 10 or maybe even top 5 writer seasons. That's all I have to say.
It's all good. So usually I have like everybody else talk nonstop during these discussions, but
Oh,
guys, it's my time to shine. It's time to say it. I'm gonna say it, and I'm not gonna take it back. Kamen Rider Build is my favorite
bad.
Kamen.
oh my god. Why would you?
You just ended Marcos. What did you do?
Kamen Rider Build is my favorite Kamen Rider season of all time. Favorite Toku show of all time. Legend Hero's still there, but I think once I finish everything, I'll think about it. But still, Kamen Rider Build. So if you guys follow me on Twitter, I was like, Build is really close to surpassing Hibiki for me, and that's like my second favorite Kamen Rider season. And then like a week later, I was like, oh, so Build surpassed Hibiki for me. But I don't know about Amazon's. Amazon is like near perfection. I don't think it can top that. And so Build topped that, and it's really close to going over Legend Hero. And okay, so we're gonna be here forever because I can literally talk about Build. And if you guys start to drop out of the call, I won't blame you. I'm just not gonna shut up about this. So
Eventually, I might
on
leave
God?
like an
Bet.
hour early.
that's okay. Oh,
Well,
let's go.
Keel at the call.
All right, so
I'm leaving at about 3 o'clock, so hopefully I can get in my 2 cents before you go off for like 5 hours.
Marcos is
yeah.
gonna be sitting here 5 hours later, and he's still gonna be talking about Build.
Exactly. This is
Okay.
a 24-hour live stream, everyone.
I probably won't go like 3 hours or anything, but we'll go at least an hour or at most an hour. Okay, so a little bit more of anecdote on my personal anecdote is that when I okay, how should I put this? It may surprise you guys. I don't watch Kamen Rider shows week to week. It's been forever since I've done that. Like as Saber, I'm a little bit behind. 01, I was like a bit behind during the halfway point and stuff. So I don't really normally watch
I
Kamen Rider
don't
shows
blame
week
you.
to week, and yeah, it really depends because it has to be a really good show or at least the arc shouldn't be dropping for me to like keep watching and stuff. But Build when it first started airing, I was watching up to like episode 12, I believe, and then that's when I dropped, and I was like, yeah, Build's a good show, but I'll get back to it later. I had little discussions with Dallas here and there about build and stuff like that, and I was catching up slowly and slowly, and then that was my first watch through. I was like, yeah, that was a good show. I enjoyed it. It was fine, and then over time, you would normally see the cycle of people being like, oh no, build's not that good, but then over time, I'm still seeing people say it's a really good show, and people still are saying that it's a good show. Like even people who don't like Build, I've noticed were like, yeah, there are a lot of things to like about Build, and I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, it's a good show, but I don't see all the praises with this. But keep in mind, I was a different person back then when it was airing to how I am now,
You were
and
very boring back then.
how dare you?
Dang.
How I was boring and very
It was a joke.
edgy, I guess.
Uh,
So, but nowadays, I guess I'm more open. I'm more analytical about this stuff too. And when I was rewatching Build recently, I was watching with my friend, and we stopped around like 23 after a couple sessions. But then I started watching on my own, and I couldn't stop watching. Like every day, I was watching like 5 episodes. I just couldn't stop. I was watching through the specials, the HBVs, and man, that was I just couldn't stop. And the main reason was because I loved the characters so much. The chemistry between Sento and Banjo is amazing, and that's probably the thing that carried the show. But I love the other characters too, Gentoku, Sawa, Misora, Kazumi. That they're all so great together. I love the cast, but a cast can only carry a show so far because the story was so good, and I love the story. I love the whole politicalness of the government, all the backstabbing the characters have. It's so good. Oh, Jam Collex, thank you for the donation. Episode 29's dynamic and operatic opening had me trying to hold back from giving a loud standing ovation. Also, hi. Yeah, and episode 29 was the opening was so good. I love
Which
stuff
one
like
was
that.
episode 29?
It was the start of the chapter 2 arc, I believe. When they started with like the orchestra playing and Pandora's
Mm.
Tower
Playing over
started.
like all of the like massacre
Remember.
and stuff.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. And as I always say, opinions change over time. Obviously, that's why I think Build is just so good now. But I got to take back everything I ever said about Build second half, because I honestly think it's better than the first half. I
Marcos.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I really shouldn't be saying second half because Build is split up into 3 chapters. I mean, they're literally called like chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3. With chapter 1 being Banjo and Sento, and then chapter 2 is like the whole tournament or the whole conflict between Saito and Toto, and then chapter 3
Build's tournament arc.
is no you, and then chapter 3 is the Riders versus Evolt, and I think people more point towards chapter 3 being as the low point of Build, but man, I loved all the Riders versus Evil. Like I get it can.
Oh, yeah.
I understand, and I get the criticisms like, oh, they're just trying to fight Evil over and over, and it gets kind of boring and stale. But to me, it didn't get boring or stale because like there's always something new introduced. There's always some new stake raised. There's always some new twist that I didn't see coming. And even towards like the last couple episodes, there was always something I didn't see coming, and I just absolutely adored every second of it. Like for example, in chapter 3, Evolt's introduced, and I'm like, wow, that's a really cool suit. And then he goes into like phase 2 and phase 3, and I was like, whoa, that's interesting. And then he says, oh, I need to gain more power so that way I can stop the Riders. And then he goes into Black Hole with the Evolt trigger, and it's so cool. He looks so cool, and his introduction was so cool. And then when he transforms, he like disappears and goes like, and then becomes like Connor Evil, a black hole, and it looks so good. And then Katsuragi returns back into Sento's memory, and they have to like actually argue with each other inside their heads, and it's and the dynamic.
I'm gonna need you to breathe. I'm gonna need you to breathe right now. Just breathe.
And then one of my favorite parts is when all four riders finally stood next to each other. They finally said, Sento, we're friends. It's okay. We can fight together. And then they do that really cool team build transformation in the warehouse. And Evo does a
so good.
Yeah, that team mentions icon.
Oh man, and I think like right after that, Sento continues to try to fight by himself, but then Banjo like stands him up and is like, it's okay to be a superhero. It's okay to be stupid. We'll just fight together and be stupid together, and it's great, and I love it. Hi, Alana.
And that's when Marcos died.
And this has been the Build discussion. Thanks for joining us.
Yep, nice
Roll
to meet
credits!
you.
Roll
Goodbye.
credits!
Alana.
Marcos is working so hard. His hazard level's raising. He's gonna die.
Don't get me started. I'll just keep talking about every new thing you bring up, like hazard levels. I can go so far with the hazard levels too. I just love the concept. But Alana,
Yeah?
how'd you get into Kamen Rider Buildo?
Oh no.
And,
Mine is just really, really boring.
mine was too.
Really?
Did you just
you
watch
sure?
it and that's it?
Yeah.
Mine was
No,
too.
no, no.
Just say
I
it.
watched it right after X-Aid. That's all.
Same.
I was very interested though because it looked really cool. I really liked Build's original form. It got
Oh,
me
yeah.
interested a lot. I don't know what about it. I just love it so much. It's really nice.
There is a lot
Sorry, I
to
joined
love.
late. Yeah.
It's okay. So, guys, I want to debate here a bit, and we can discuss if this is as long as you want. But
I'm laughing at you saying it's okay because it's just like
You
that
need to
just means
get
more
to the
time for you
things
to
we
talk
like.
about Build.
So I've been really thinking about the criticisms about Kamen Rider Build, and I was thinking in my head like the more I think about things, I'm like, you know what? I don't think this aspect was that bad, because I like the Hell Brothers. I like the little proxy battles they had in the middle. I like
This
the
is what
whole
we're doing.
and they were always so good. Like even quote unquote the worst parts always have something good in them. Like the action is still really cool. The battles between the riders is really awesome. Evolt has such a cool design that like I just need an SHF Evolt right now. Yes.
You spent enough money as it is.
Oh yeah, and I did buy like $500 worth of Kamen Rider Build merchandise. You know, like. I didn't spend. I didn't spend that much. I swear. Like honestly, it was a lot, but it wasn't that
I'll
much.
be back.
Jam Collects. Oh yeah, Encase the Boy. So much to enjoy. Like honestly, I wouldn't even know where to start to like just talk about this stuff, because like I could talk about each chapter in length, like in their own discussions. But
All right, I do it.
no, you. But I want you guys to talk about things too. So like. Alana.
Hmm?
Uh,
You were talking a lot. I was just listening.
This is a Build discussion. We're about to get everyone's about to get a chance before Marcus starts rambling on for like 3 hours.
Alana, favorite aspect of Build.
3 hours? Has it already been 3 hours?
Favorite
No.
part of Build.
It was a joke.
Favorite part of Build? Oh my god. Oh my god, there's a lot. Oh.
Number one thing, top of the head.
Yes.
I really like Gentoku and Kazumin's ending, like when they die. I don't know what about it.
Oh.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
I
coming
like
man.
it when this
immediately.
character died.
I like it when the characters died, but they, in the end, they revive. It's
Uh,
fine.
Yeah, no, their deaths are really a good cap off to their character arc.
Yeah.
Balin and Gio were here last night when I was watching through that part. Also, shout out to Ed, but they were here when I was watching, and man, I've never teared up in a writer's show aside from Blade's ending, but like the seeing Kazumi fade away and Misora breaking the news, and there was no music. The only sound was the wind blowing. Like,
Yeah, I think Build is maybe cry more than any of the X8 stuff.
oh no.
The deaths are
Wait,
handled so well in
um,
Build. Like you feel the weight that they have.
Yeah.
Plus,
Yeah.
we're gonna wake up tomorrow and Lucy's gonna become the #1 Grease simp.
Me?
Yes, you.
No,
Farewell,
I have a
Taiwan.
friend that's in
wait.
love with Greece, like Kazumi, like a lot. This is what like I don't know who's gonna go next. Anyone want to go next?
Go ahead.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
so like, well, first, number one thing I liked about Build, I did like the suits a lot.
Yeah.
But like, we're discussing about Build, so I want to discuss about Kazumi, which I don't get why people just label him as just a simp,
Mhm.
because, yeah, okay, it's for comedic effect. It's like whatever, and then I've seen someone online say something like, "Oh, like Kazumi's like a freaking sexual predator or whatever." I'm just like,
Ew.
that's not at all true. And it's like there's so much more to Kazumi than just a simp. And like people just tag on like that one scene like at the barbecue scene, I think, where he's just like where it's just like his little devil self has like
Yeah.
a body pillow or whatever. And it's just an imagination. It's just for comedic effect. And then like people don't understand that like Sawa is the one that like enables him and has that body pillow. And then I think she ended up keeping it or something. And then it's just like people forget like the scenes with like his boys. I forgot the name of
The
I
Hoko
forgot
trio.
all the names.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Alba, Kiba, and Akaba.
Which ones? Which yeah, they're all so sad, and he was like so attached to them. And then like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
saddest one for me was which one's the yellow clothed one?
Kiba.
Kiba.
Yes, that one was so sad because it was just like him holding his like someone that like he looked like a little brother
Yeah.
to
yeah.
Kazumi, and I was just like that was the one part that made me bawl my eyes out because I have to also remember he got tortured, and so it's just like it hurts so much, and it just he's just in pain, and then he's just so scared and doesn't want to die, and then like.
Aw.
Everyone just tags on that Kazumi is just a simp, and I'm just like, there was more to Kazumi than just a simp. He had actual emotions. He had tears. He loved his boys, and then eventually he grew like a friendship and relationship with Banjo and Sento and Gentoku and all of them. And it's just like it was more than just simp. They were like a family. I will not stand for Kazumi's slander. I will fight you.
I think part of the issue is it happens it happens also with Gentoku, but a lot more with Kazumi for sure. Is they get reduced to their
Oh no.
Base-
they get reduced to their gag, to their comedic relief. Like whenever people talk about Gentoku, they're always like, "Oh, he becomes funny shirt guy," and then completely just like ignore everything else that his character did. It's like that's the thing he's remembered for. So same thing
Yeah,
there.
but-
Like, oh, he's remembered for being the simp, even though he has so much more to him, and he's like such a
Yeah.
really good character because they're all good characters.
I can attest to that because until my second rewatch, I just saw like the last third Gentoku is funny shirt man, but then upon a rewatch, I was like, God, Rogue might be my favorite writer.
Yeah, definitely.
I love Rogue so much.
I really like his suit, Gentoku's suit,
Yeah.
Rogue's
Mhm.
suit. It's really nice. Probably one of my favorites. I just love purple.
I think boiling down to like the quote unquote flanderization of characters, or at least one characteristic, is something we see a lot in when we talk about Kamen Rider. Because you can boil down Kamen Riders to like this one gag, and that's pretty much who they are. But of course, they're always more than that. There's not 49 episodes worth of these shows, and that's all they are, you know. And Gentoku and Kazumi, like especially in their last moments, like there wasn't really there weren't any gags there. There wasn't any simping in their final moments. It was serious, and it showed how much they cared about not only like Misora and Sawa, but also like just their friends in general. And Gintoku specifically was fighting for his country, more so than just his friends. Like, of course, his friends are important, but like one of his final thoughts was like, I'm trying to fight here because my dad like believes in me. You know that there's way more to him than funny shirt guy, and. And the HPV or the hyper battle video is there to have like more funny shirt moments, but even then there's like serious moments in there too where he's like, yeah, I remember my dad and this is what he wanted me to do. He stuff like that, yada yada yada. And each character just has so much to
Toku
them.
learned the true meaning of democracy that day.
Yes, Lucy.
The whole thing with like the deaths or whatever, it's like I keep bringing up Kazumi because like I said, I will not stand for Kazumi slander. But it's just like at the end of his death, and like Misora had to watch him die. It's just like he didn't like have some funny gag. It's just like with the whole simping, like you said.
Yeah.
But it's just like it shows that he actually cared about Misora and her safety, and like of course like you look back and it's like he cared about everyone's safety, but like it comes down to like he wasn't a simp. And like, well, of course, but like he really did care about Misora and like wanting to protect or whatever. It's just like people are just like simp. I will literally fight everyone. That just boils him down to simp because that's not true. If you actually watch Build, you would understand.
Yeah, I don't mind if you're like jokingly just saying, "Oh, Kazumi's a simp, ha ha ha, body pillow," but like but to be serious, he's way more than that.
Yes, exactly.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, I did want to talk about the Hokuto trio a little bit too, because like
Oh, the trio!
when people I've seen people say that Bill can get really depressing, and like one of the most depressing moments was when the trio got picked off like one by one, and like episode 21 or 22 was when Sento used the hazard trigger to kill Aoba, and
Yamada!
and right there I was like, what this is not a kid show, right? this what the heck just happened? And
Yeah.
and in the and literally the next episode there was like little to no music in it aside from like the opening and a couple ambient themes. There was like little to no music. It was just Sento like in his like wallowing in grief, not even doing anything. I think they skipped like to a week later, and Sento's just there like sitting in his room, and it was so depressing. It was so sad, and I was like, there's no way that they just did that, and it just really hit me so hard to see a character go through like the state of depression for this, and it was just so interesting seeing his arc go through all that. And then by the end he does bring up like when the trio appear again to fight Kazumi, Sento like he knew like Kazumi just had to do this to finish his to get some closure on all this, and it was just so good.
I wanted to, sorry to interrupt, but I want to bring up like the fun fact about Sento's actor, Inukai. For him, like the acting was so real to the point where like there's like a fun fact of him playing Monster Hunter on like nights where he had to shoot for like a scene the next day, and like him being tired and like looking depressed and tired adds to that because of the Monster Hunter playing. So I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is just amazing.
I'd like to bring up I like how Marcos asked Alana and Lucy what they liked about Build, and now we're on this rant. Me and Ballin are chilling.
Sorry, Ballin, favorite aspect of Build.
Okay, so favorite aspect is a little hard to pick because I love everything about it. I find it to be like nearly perfect, if not perfect. But if I had to pick one thing, my favorite thing about it is kind of the serialized nature of it, because we don't get too much like sort of standard monster of the week, victim of the week type thing. Like we start out with that. That's kind of how it begins with match victims and stuff. But it transitions into the more episodic stuff, into the more serialized stuff, into the more like this is the plot we're following along. It's these conflicts. One thing leads directly into another, And I think that works so well for the series because it lets us follow along with the character development because every character grows a lot. They all undergo a lot of change. I don't think I can't think of any character who could be like called a static character because they all change and grow and develop as they
Mhm.
interact with each other and with the others. It also helps with the villain. Evolt is one of my favorite villains because
Yes.
he's a presence throughout the whole thing. He starts off, at first in disguise, then Bloodstark, and then he's like scheming behind the scenes, pulling everything together. And then once he reveals himself to be like the one pulling all the strings, and he enters the picture as the villain they're fighting, it just works beautifully because we've been following that story from the beginning. Like it all just flows so naturally, and it's just one big series of events that lead into each other.
Yes. Agreed. So you guys may or may not know that yeah, Kamen Rider is written pretty much as it goes along with the story. I think Gaim was like one of the few shows where the story was written beforehand, but like before other production stuff. But with Build, it kind of didn't seem that way where they were writing as they went along because it just felt so natural, like you said, Ball, and felt so natural to have Evolt as the villain. Like he started off as Bloodstock as like this mysterious face pulling the strings, working along with Faust, and then he reveals, or Isarugi reveals to be Bloodstock, and then it's later revealed that he's possessed by Evolt, and there's always these little hints dropped that that Bloodstock, Isarugi, Evolt, there's always a little bit more to them than what they let on. And not just that, but like the other aspects connecting to Evolt, like the Pandora panels and the bottles and Shinobu Katsuragi and Katsuragi Takami himself, like they're always connected to each other. That leads into Evolt's like big reveal, and he's like the final boss, the big bad of the show, and it just works together so beautifully. Like I couldn't have even I couldn't even tell that Build was being written as it went along, at least until like the last few episodes. But still, I digress. Gia.
All right. I kind of have too many things of what I like about Build, so I'll keep them short.
It's why we're here. Go ahead.
One of them isn't fully on related to the show. So, the first thing I'll say about Build in the show is that if you ever see me talk about Build, I always go about like the main cast of writers, or as I like to call them, the Build Boys. They're like my favorite main cast of writers ever. Like even a bit more than the main four of Ryuki. Like
Really?
those four have so much chemistry and charm, and even when like the world is ending, Bill just does such a good job of at least letting them have like banter with each other to make
Yeah.
them feel so natural and so much like a team and just a good
Family.
friend. The build the
Yes.
familia, yes. The build boys are just so charming, and I love them so much. And I will admit there's days where I just straight up like go randomly like I miss the build boys for no reason.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
John,
John
go
Don.
away. You don't even watch Kamen Rider. But thank you for the donation. uh,
And
oh, go ahead.
the second mini thing I like about Ryder or about build is that out of personal experience, build is a I've gotten a lot of non-writer friends into writer through build. Like for some reason, build's just like the perfect one to start off with to get them like absolutely obsessed with writer. And I love just I guess how accessible build is to even people who don't like the tokusatsu because the story is just that good.
Yeah. I think I've said before that Build is not only just a good Kamen
I
Rider
love about
show,
build.
but it's a good show in general. Like it's just generally a really good show. Dabs in chat for John. So I really think Build is a show you can show, or you could show to like pretty much anyone, well, almost anyone if they're into this stuff, and it's just so good. And I get what you're saying, Gia. It's actually, I forgot what I was gonna say. Go ahead. You were gonna say something.
Um, sure, I'll say something. As example of someone, of one of my friends who got into writer through build, V. I got them started with like the first 10 episodes, and then they watched the entire series in like the next 2 days, and then like the morning after, they said, "Guys," and we were like, "What?" "Guys, I ordered a build driver off Amazon." I was like, "What the hell?"
Let's
Wow, that's
go.
quick.
Fun
Oh my
fact,
God.
today Sparkling came in through the mail, so yeah, they have Sparkling now too.
Holy shit.
I need to get build stuff. Like I have like way too many X8 stuff coming in the mail. Christ.
I've been wanting to get build stuff for a while now.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
But I'm waiting for
same.
my 01 driver.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
To get
Huh?
No, you first. You first. You first.
You first. Oh,
Well,
wait.
you first with the
Sorry.
donation.
Okay, Insta Jared, thank you. I love Genius, not because of its design, but what it represents for Sento, and that's his character coming full circle. He accepts his past, aka Katsuragi, and Katsuragi does the same, and is that the two accept one another? Yes, absolutely. Ah, Lucy.
That the topic of like suits. Like, what's your guys' favorite suits that's not Genius build?
Genius.
Genius is not my favorite.
I already said mine is Rogue.
If
Yeah.
someone likes Genius, then fine.
Wait. Oh no, John and Aaron are in the chat. No, you guys don't even watch Kamen Rider. But thank you again, Insta Jared, for the donation.
So, like, what's your favorite best match? Is what I'm trying to
Oh,
say.
best match.
Match? Not
Yeah.
just
Favorite best
upgrade form?
match?
Yes.
My favorite best match is Dog Mike.
That's cute. Dog Mike is adorable. Ballin.
I kind of like Octopus Light just because of the ridiculousness of it.
Alana.
Yeah.
So aggressive.
Favorite best match.
Your best match?
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe Rabbit Tank Sparkling?
Does that count?
I'm
Sure.
not sure if that counts.
I think it counts.
Sure.
Is the best match.
They say best match. I think it counts.
Lucy.
Okay, best match.
It'd have to be either Rose vacuum thing.
Oh yeah.
Or okay, that one, Gorilla Diamond, and then the Nin comic.
showed up in X8.
Nin comic.
Oh, Nen Comic's great too.
Yes, those are my
Uh,
three top best match.
So I'm gonna cheat here a little bit and say
Rose helicopter. Whoops.
oh that's yeah. I'm gonna cheat here a little bit and say my favorite is Dragon Lock Hazard.
I was about to say, don't say Hazard.
All right, every bunny, it's time for Marcos's top 5 favorite Kamen Rider build suits. Number 5, Kamen
Oh my
Rider
god.
Prime Rogue.
Let's go.
Number 4, what was it? Kamen Rider Build Genius. Number 3,
Yeah.
Kamen Rider Cross Magma. Number 2, Kamen Rider Evolved. And now for some honorable mentions. I asked you guys on Twitter what your favorite best matches were, and here are some of your responses.
Please don't tell me.
All in plays said, "Date me, Marcos."
Number
What?
1.
Excuse me?
Number 1. Kamen Rider Build Hazard. That's it. Thank you for watching.
Oh my god.
Number 0, Kamen Rider Saber Dragonic Knight.
Like
Wrong series.
so I used to think Cross Charge was like the ugliest suit in this show, and I used to hate it so much. And honestly, it still is one of the ugliest suits in the
And you were
suits in
right.
the show. But it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I really like how should I put this? I think it's a common thing to say that Build has no bad suits. Like, every single one is a banger. I love all the best matches. I love all the suits. Rabbit Tank is such an amazing base form to start off with, and then those power-ups are even cooler. Like, I love all of them. Like, don't get me wrong, I have my top 5, but, like, you can, like, lump every single best match and every single suit into like number 6, and that'll be correct for me. I just love every single one so much. Oh no, wait, sorry, Cross Charge is number 7, and everything else is number 6. Even Grace Perfect Kingdom, I think, is a really cool suit. I love Cross Evolt. I love the Prime Rogue. It's build and okay. So anyway, as you can
Imagine
tell, I love build.
Imagine if this was a podcast and like someone's just listening along and they just hear Marcos just heavily breathing.
I wanted to bring up something.
Yes.
Yes.
Since Alana brought up deaths earlier, I liked how we went on for a bit about Grease's and Rogue's death, but we never even touched Utsumi.
Who? Just kidding.
So I wanted to ask about if you guys have any opinions about Utsumi's death.
Yes,
I forgot how he died.
he took a stab from Evolt to protect Gentoku.
Hmm.
Ringing any bells?
It rings a bell. It's just like, what do I think about it? Anyways, someone else go on.
All right, so I'm gonna be the positive guy as always here when it comes to build. I really loved Utsumi. I liked him as Mad Rogue. I liked him as like this enigma in the shadows, just working for whoever is the most powerful. But it turns out that he's still loyal to Nanba, and I just loved the end when he like confronted Gentoku against the Hell Brothers, and Utsumi was like, "We're gonna fight together on this," and then he gets stabbed, and then he turns out to be a cyborg, and I love Utsumi. I love Mad.
I feel really
feel like-
mad. No. You guys first.
I feel like people really like to disregard Utsumi's death and Utsumi's character because of the cyborg reveal. Because even I did at first. And I was like, oh, what? The recaps weren't actually jokes? And so people were just focusing on that for a while.
I feel bad that the actor for I think is it Utsumi? Oh wait, I have a call. I'm gonna go last.
Yuki I don't know how to say it. Yuki I don't know Uchi?
Alana,
Uchi?
Alana.
Yeah?
how do you feel about Utsumi's death?
To be honest, I don't fully remember it. I don't know about it, but
No
I
one cares
returned.
about Utsumi.
I returned. I would like to
No,
continue.
Utsumi, I do.
You said you were
It's
going
that-
last, Lucy. It's my turn.
No.
I
Okay,
do.
fine,
It's just
fine,
that
fine.
I don't fully remember it. It wasn't really
Utsumi-
memorable.
Utsumi's a character that I go back and forth on a lot because I do like him because like I said I love all
Mhm.
the characters in Build. I don't think Build has bad characters, but I do think
Agreed.
he's on the weaker end just
How dare
because like I don't know some of the decisions that they take with him they feel a little awkward compared to the other characters. Like I feel like the writing isn't as strong. Like it's still really good. It's still solid, but his arc feels a little more it feels a little more crooked compared to everyone else where there's like a good picture of what their arc was. His picture is like a little slanted on the wall. Like you didn't level the wall correctly, so the picture's kind of like you gotta angle yourself to see what you're looking at.
Wow,
It
that's
also
a
just
good way
kind
to
of-
put it. Huh.
I said it was also just kind of feels weird, especially like the bizarreness of his death, or he was just suddenly like phase 1, phase 2,
Yeah.
phase 3. He was like, where did this come from?
Yeah, that part weirded me out a bit too, because with Evolt, it took him like the powers of Sento and Banjo to even become phase 2 and 3, and then Utsumi just does it, and no new forms, he just becomes red. So, yes.
A tiny bit about Mad Rogue of why I think is really dumb. I really hate how his one of his like signature little I don't know what to call it, like suit quirks. Like some writers have
yeah.
like suit quirks.
Yeah.
Of like Forze likes to rub his helmet like he's slicking back his hair. I even though that's also silly and it's basically the same thing as what Mad Rogue does. I hate that Mad Rogue pushes up his glasses as if he was wearing them. It bothers me so much.
Well, I can kind of what is it, relate to that, because sometimes when I'm not wearing my glasses, I feel like I need to push something up on my face. So I guess I can understand. If I was a Kamen writer, I'd probably try to push my glasses up. But that man 666, thank you for the
I need them.
thank you for the 666 donation. I'd be lying to say I hate Build. It just broke my heart. Doesn't change that I ranked it at the top 5 hated seasons. Oh, I'm sorry to hear
Dang.
that. Um, but I did want to hear like some negative aspects people have about Build, and I want to try to like talk about that too. But after Lucy,
Oh, hi. Well, I was gonna say something about Utsumi's actor. I think it was the actor. That he just
Oh, him
retired.
retiring?
yeah,
Yeah, he
Yeah,
retired.
we'll
Yeah.
never get that V cinema.
yeah, I heard
Wait,
about
I'm
that
not
Right.
gonna
too.
lie. Even though I didn't personally want a mad rogue centered V cinema, I'd wanted like a more of a rogue and
A
mad rogue.
special?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind a special. Like, I wouldn't. I don't think a V
Like
cinema
a
is
V cinema would
needed.
be fine too, but like with just those two instead of just Utsumi.
They
I
could do really good things with the two of them.
I had this really silly idea for a Mad Rogue special where it's like a day in the life of Utsumi, and it's just him like just going around places trying to be normal, and then it's revealed he's a cyborg. I thought that'd be pretty
And
cute.
then they still had like the comedy effect of
Yeah,
like the some of the intros.
yeah.
I don't know why. I just imagine like Utsumi walking and then he suddenly trips and he's like holding his knee in pain. He's like, anything for Namba.
uh, all right, so guys, if you want to write down like what you like and didn't like about Bill, then I'll be happy to read them. But Sento's dad, Shinobu Katsuragi, is one of the main things I see as a negative towards Build. But I gotta say, I loved his inclusion. I kind of feel like they could have done more, but what they did with him in the show was good enough for me. Cause like there's no way Katsuragi Takumi himself could have thought of like everything, you know. There's just no way. He's smart, but like all the way from the beginning, I don't know. So like if there was like if his dad was there too to like puppeteer a lot of this stuff, then I'm glad I'm glad they went with that. I'm really glad they like revealed Shinobu to be this like this shadow behind evil. Like I liked all that, and after Banjo got cross magma, Shinobu is brought up a lot more, like slowly and slowly, and then it's revealed that he is alive along standing next to Evolt, and I thought that was really good. I really liked all that. And I'm not sure like what's wrong exactly having Sento's dad there, but I really like the inclusion.
I think a good way to view Shinobu's inclusion was that he was like another extension of how can we give both Sento and Katsuragi a bit more development even after they got Genius, because
Yes,
just
yes,
basically his presence was a whole character arc for them. But when they were talking like, oh, dad has to be good. He must be stopping evil, and Katsuragi's like, no, dad was a deadbeat. Dad just wants to rule the earth or something.
yeah. I
And I,
like.
and I
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, no, I just like how like I'm glad that Genius wasn't just the cap for the character development, and it gives something else for Sento to really ponder about.
Yeah, that's why I liked it too, cause it's Katsuragi and Sento living in the same mind, and excuse me, and they still have to like work things out with each other, because they are basically two different people now. So having Sento's dad, like you said, helps out with a little bit more character development towards the end. Yeah. Um. And anybody else?
Rip that dude. That was the person before Sento came to be. Like the body of Sento.
Katsuragi
Satataro.
Yes. Rest in peace, man.
I thought it was really funny that like everybody having that like this deep backstory that's connected to everything, and Satataro just happened to be at the wrong place, and now he's dead. Goodbye.
Yep.
I thought that was funny,
Sad.
Yeah.
but at least it gives Katsuragi a really cute face with Sento or Inukai.
I guess.
Lucy.
Yes, that's me.
Nothing. um.
I
Yes.
I was gonna say something about I really love Shinobu's moment in Be the One. I know we're not mainly talking about the movies, but I just love so much how like during the middle of the climax and Sento flashes back to the day the Skywalls came up, He was like, "Dad, why do you do everything for science?" And then his dad is just standing there, is like, "For love and peace." And I was like, "Ah."
Oh, actually, that is one thing I wanted to talk about, where love and peace, like that whole phrase. It, yes, it's very corny. Yes, it's very cheesy, but
But it
the
fits
ca-
build perfectly.
it fits build, but like the characters are also aware of how corny it is. Like it's brought up like 3 or 4 times when Sento says, "I'm doing this for love and peace," and then the characters are like, "Bro, okay, that's really cheesy. I don't know about that."
Flashing back to the Heisei final, Heisei
Yeah, when it was
generation
like it
final.
was like Banjo's entire arc in that movie.
Yeah,
Love and peace.
and then like around the middle, Sento himself. I think it was actually again in the in one of the proxy battles. Sento's like, I know love and peace is this really cheesy thing to say, but it's a thing I fight for and a thing I believe in, and it's more than just quote unquote love and peace. It's also protecting what I love. That's part of the love is protecting the people here is part of the peace. Like he knows it's corny, but it's something that he can fight for. And I love the self aware aspect of that. Like I love that Build can be the serious show, but I know but they also know that it's okay to like just have this corny moment and be the superhero that Sento accidentally became. And I just love Build. Excuse me.
Something I
Um,
wanted to touch on was I really love the themes in Build because like there's a lot of
yes.
really strong themes. Like the one that most people go to, the big one is of course like the theme about like like war and nationalism and all that stuff, and that's like they're really good themes and messages. But the other theme that I think kind of gets overlooked is Build has a very strong like it's sort of
Unity.
like the past doesn't make us who we are. Like who we were before, the things we did before, don't affect who we are now. Because
Yes.
if you think about it, most of the characters they have something in their past that they did that like they did bad things or they did wrong things, and despite that they're fighting for a good cause. They're fighting for a good reason. And then also to go along with that is sort of just like believing in yourself, believing in the people around you, a willingness to change, just those sort of
Um,
things that I think are like they're exemplified well through the characters and through the development they get. Like I think
Yes.
one of my favorite scenes in Build, one that I don't think a lot of people really like it for some reason, but it's like the last scene before they go into battle when they're just like when they're having the barbecue and having fireworks and stuff. I
I
love that
yes.
like that
scene.
scene.
I love that scene
That's
Yes.
so
so
much
cool. It's so good,
because
such a good scene.
it's literally just them coming together as friends and like this is the last time we're going to be together before this fight. We could die. Everyone could die. The world could be destroyed. And they just come together and have fun one last time and share all the memories they've made together and how much they've grown as people together. It's just
Yes.
Yeah.
so touching.
Um, if I could go on about like themes and stuff, because a theme that I really grew to notice and like was the theme of like unity or coming together. Because
Mhm.
it's from everywhere to the character development to the very gimmick themselves of best matches. It's such a strong thing that bonds just the show itself. Because like Sento and Banjo and the best matches and this whole thing of like trying to do something by yourself will usually end up in failure, and it's through working together and uniting with others to become stronger. You will usually overcome the person soloing, which is kind of just the entire story of all of them together against Evil, who purposely wanted to just do things by himself and use everybody instead of uniting.
Mhm.
Oh, guys, you're gonna make me cry.
And I think if we're gonna talk about favorite scenes in Build, the way this theme plays into my favorite scene of Build is when I'd say Rogue truly understands what it means to fight as a team during his death.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And
So
instead of like him accepting that or him like wanting to be like, I have to be the one that leads the country, just like my dad. He finally learns what it means to be a good leader and just uniting with his team by instead sacrificing himself so the others can win instead of him. and that's also what makes me really love Rogue. What he learns to be how he learns to be a true like leader of the country.
Hmm.
Guys,
Yes.
Yeah.
it's been an hour. I
So what I'm hearing is we're going for another hour.
honestly,
Yeah, no.
Oh, I was about to leave.
I could keep going, but I.
Yeah,
Ah!
no, I looked down on my clock, and I saw there was like 6 minutes before we have to end, and I said, "Dang it! I barely said anything that I wanted to say."
Kamen Rider
I know,
Build
right?
discussion part two.
There's still so much that
We
could be
should make a
said.
part 2.
Part
Yeah.
two. Part two.
If the chat's down for a part 2 next week, then I'm down for a build discussion
Guys,
part
would you
2.
like a part?
All right, in the
We'll
chat
part
right now.
two.
Press 2 for part 2.
Leave a 2 right now.
Yes, right now. Or else.
I wanted Marcos to read my message.
I'm
Two.
down.
Two.
Two.
Part 2. Part 2. Part 2. Part 2. Part 2.
Man,
Part ad.
okay, so I
That's not an answer.
should say this, guys.
Yes.
Yo, there's a
Yes.
lot of twos.
666 doesn't count. 69 doesn't count either.
I love Kamen Rider Build,
I love Kamen Rider.
and it is not only my favorite Kamen Rider season, but my favorite tokusatsu of all time.
It's a past.
Hey Siri, heads or tails?
No spamming.
It's heads this time.
You heard her. It's heads. Yes, it's
You didn't
true.
call it.
Heads is always yes.
Okay.
So yeah, there we go.
Hey, we're gonna have a part 2.
So you know what this means, guys.
Part 2.
History of Kamen Rider Build should be happening fairly soon.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yay!
I was gonna say something, but I forgot. I think it was something important, like
If it's important, then why did you forget it?
that's what I'm saying.
If you forgot it, then it probably wasn't really important.
Yeah.
All right, so next week's discussion, Kamen Rider Build Part 2.
Let's
In
go.
that part 2, we're gonna talk way more.
We'll talk about everything we didn't talk about today.
Honestly, I
Exactly.
still have so much I want to say.
I have no idea if I'm going to be here for that because of college.
Let's go. Kamen Rider.
Kamen Rider.
Oh yeah, so
Kamen Rider.
history of Build would be in like 2 parts because it's that long.
It's going to be a whole movie,
Same.
whole documentary.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get an anabolic pizza now. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Good night, every build, every bunny, every
Build
Good night.
Every